Good morning, Rye Guy here. It is April someday. I think I'll put the date up down here somewhere so I actually know what I'm talking about here. We're out in the Mersey Bowater lands. We're gonna go for a run. Apparently there's a big gathering here from Maritime ATV, or Maritime ATV Gathering for the gathering. So we might join into that one. I'm going to be running with my buddy Bruce. You've seen him in plenty of my other videos. And it's a little bit drizzly and cold, so I'm going to put my heated grips on. Done. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this run. I will see you guys out in the trail. I'm going to tell you, man, there is a lot of ATVs and side-by-sides here for this kind of non-organized rally. There are some very, very fast side-by-sides, X3s, YXEs, OG Mavs. Oh boy, there's an RS1. Try to keep the lens clear as much as I can here on the ride, but we're gonna let all of those big, heavy machines roll ahead because they're fast. This Grizzly's fast. Something like that can't stop real quick. So I'm not getting run over. So we're gonna bring up the rear. Woo, it's drizzly. Rainy and drizzly. Typical spring day in Nova Scotia. So I haven't been out for a while. It's probably been a couple months now. Yeah, a couple months. It's busy. Oh man. Now that springtime is here, in my industry, which is the agricultural industry, it is getting very busy. People are out planting, people are prepping fields, including myself. Busy, just trying to get equipment in stock and sell it. Oh yeah, it's the same thing with everything. This whole work-life balance thing, I'm not quite sure where that went, but I think the pivot seized. Sorry if that's bothering you every time I wipe that camera off, but I'm going to have to do it often, including my my shield here. More X3s. Man, they're long. Air Max. Just talking to that fella in the X3 there. They're with a different group altogether. We just kind of warned them that there's a big group up ahead. We're not, I guess we're running with Maritime ATV Gathering today, but I mean, we're kind of bringing up the rear. And yeah, I just hope there's not going to be too much cross traffic because trails can get crowded, you don't think, but especially since all of this pandemic stuff started, there's been so many ATVs and side-by-sides being sold that you get what I like to call COVID riders. They're the guys who, you know, don't really have a lot of experience. It's their first machine. They'll go buy the biggest, baddest machine they can buy or afford and just go rip, which is all right if you didn't have like 300 other people do the same thing. This pandemic, man, for the power sports industry has been phenomenal. Except for the stock of the dealers, it's been for sales. Wow, people can't keep stuff in stock no matter where you're at. This is the eastern side of Canada, though. I don't know what it's like in, you know, like Texas or something like that. I have no idea, but just giving our or my point of view from this side of Canada here. For anybody new to ride, and see this guy, I think he's trying to run with Maritime ATV Gathering and he's not sure which way to go. If you're in a big group or if you're following a big group, see how the dirt's a different color? Especially right now since it's raining, it's actually a little bit better. But see how the dirt's a little bit different color than the rest of it? Well, high traffic will tell you that that is the way that they went, which is this way. If you're a little bit lost, typically what's going to happen in like a larger rally or a group run, just kind of tips for beginners here, you're supposed to stop at every intersection and wait for the guy behind you. That might not always happen. But if you're a little bit confused on what way to go, just look at the tire patterns. A lot of ATVs just turned here, so that's the way that the group's going. We're gonna get up the top of the hill here and pull off, because that light bar on the front of that Honda is just hanging on by the wire. So we're gonna see if I got something in my bag here to tie him up. Aha!
Zip ties, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you go on ahead. I think everyone made a left there. So just maybe another point and tip, if you're leading a large group of people, lots of water in there, if you're leading a large group of people, you want to concentrate on leading. You want to have a strong rider at the rear, and somebody who knows the exact route that you're heading so that they can pick up stragglers. Not exactly cold, but I'm not exactly warm either. Another point and tip, these tire tracks, these tire treads, pay attention to the tire tread of the rider or few riders ahead of you. That is also a good way to realize that, hey, maybe I'm not going the right direction if I don't see those tire treads. Definitely been a lot of bikes through here recently. I can already smell the mud burning on my radiator. Ooh, slick, slick. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I couldn't remember I had zip ties with me or not, but...
That was fast. I don't know how they got up here so quick.
Yeah, well... a couple groups of people left before us, so...
I'm not going into the restaurant. We could eat Tim's. Yeah, I mean, I just mean even the other guys up there. Like, really quick. Trying to catch up with them, and it was like... The back of the pack goes quick.
Yeah. Well, looks like everybody's finally moving. up. One of the new CF Moto Z950s. CF Moto's attempt at a higher performance sport machine. I'm not quite sure what the canister on the side is for. There's two of them. Maybe one's like a belt intake and one's a belt exhaust or something. I have no idea. Looks like rearward facing rockets. Not letting up. It's not really full-on rain, but it's been drizzling all day, all morning. I do have my heated grips on. In fact, I think I might turn them up a little bit. We're not going to get far if we keep stopping every 10 minutes here. With the group ride this big, it's a little bit difficult to manage because, you know, people want to stop when they want to stop, either use the bathroom, to get a drink, whatever. But unless it's a rally that's signed and people know where they're going to go, then it's hard.
The fans blow in the opposite direction in the wintertime. You wouldn't even need heat.
Thing's pretty wild though.
They look so rugged. Like they look to be like a trophy truck.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost sounds like a single cylinder, like sitting like that.
Yeah.
Until he's on it. Battery in the GPS is dying and I haven't fixed the cord on it yet. Shut it down. My hands are cold. The old Kirkland brand batteries from Costco. Don't really last that long. Uh-oh. Did I screw them up? I did. I'm an idiot. Put these in here so we don't reuse them. Oh, it's nice and warm in there. It's right over top of the cylinder. That's why I keep extra gloves in there for.
You want to hold that, and I'll hold it, and you try to start it, okay? Because that's what supplies power to my ignition on my Can-Am.
Yeah, same. It just completes the circuit on this.
The gill's working in the right direction?
Yep.
Key on?
Yep.
I can smell gas.
No spark.
Oh yeah.
Up ahead of me on the Can-Am 2-seater is, hope you don't mind me using your name. His name is Greg Pratt. He is the organizer, one of the organizers, the main cheese, big cheese of Maritime ATV Gathering. So he's the guy who organized this run. So, you know, just a shout out to you, Greg. I appreciate your efforts of putting everything together here today. Again, wasn't really sure if we were going to be joining you today or not, but you know, we're kind of following the same route, so why not? And we might branch off still at some point, but you know, if you see this video, you know, kudos. You've done quite a lot for the ATV community in Nova Scotia, especially for new riders getting into the sport. So, you know, keep up the good work. You know, keep all the riders safe out there and keep them educated. That's the main thing. A lot of this infrastructure is pretty new. All these logging roads. Ooh, that's washed out bad. proper thing, I guess. Don't want to be those guys. So, to those who are new to this video, or new to my channel, this is part of the South Shore Rails to Trail system, which is a multi-use trail system, which means hikers, bikers, walkers, ATVers, everybody's allowed to use it. You know, we pay into a registration every year, the off-highway vehicle registration, and it helps maintain these trails. So, unfortunately, we pay the majority of the money into fixing these trails, and it could take one walker to complain to the government or complain to law enforcement or whatever that, you know, we're doing something wrong, or, you know, whether it be we do something wrong or not, or it's false information, they can, you know, revoke our access to the trails. Whatever. Part of living in Nova Scotia, that's what you get. At least on this type of trail system. There's been many examples. I just can't think of the top of my head. If anybody's interested, I will let you know. But, you know, many examples of where ATVers have paid for a trail to be built, and then white walkers or hikers or bicyclists or whatever had it shut down permanently to all motorized vehicles. There was an X3 back there that had a set of chase lights on it, which looked freaking sharp. Uh-oh, looks like DNR. Checking registrations, licenses, that kind of thing. Again, welcome to Nova Scotia. This is what you got to deal with, but you know what? I'm glad that there's some sort of enforcement, because if there wasn't, it'd be anarchy. Oh, it sucks though. I mean, you know, you gotta have registration, your license, and your insurance, that kind of thing. We've been here for a while, just waiting for people to kind of process through here. We're gonna branch off here and do our own thing. Maybe go to, I don't know, we might not go to Wingin restaurant, but we'll probably go to like the fuel station or something like that in Tantallon here, and yeah, turn around, do some trails. Some actual trails, not the fire road running. And YXZ, I'd love to have one, but you got to put a high-low transmission in that thing. It's the only way I buy one. Even with that gear reduction, I'm not spending $3,000 to $4,000 to put a set of gears in. I just spent something like 25, 30 grand on. Anyway, off track. Yeah, I'm more open for going out in a day with my friends in the woods. If you've ever watched Side by Side vlog, Nick, it's freaking hilarious, man. Every once in a while you'll Nick Seuss, you'll hear this like random song or something like that, and it's usually Nick Seuss singing it. X3 XMR, X3 DS, X3 DS. Lots of X3s around here. They must be suitable for the trails, or else nobody would have them. They're long. They're long. They got to cut about, I don't know, man, like 20-30 inches off the wheelbase, leave it at about 100-inch wheelbase, that would be fine. And I think if you crank the preload and the suspension up, it would bring it up a little bit, because they seem awful low to me, but I don't know. No, never driven one. Anybody wants to loan me their X3 for a couple hours, go out for a run? Sounds great. See. How you doing? Good. I'm not quite sure what that said. The sign was cut off a bit. I've been on this trail many times. I'm just trying to remember. Geez, it's been a long time since I've been down this way. We'll exercise the four-wheel drive here. Really don't need the high beam on here either. You know, I've been watching a lot of side-by-side videos, and you know, rigs like the Can-Am X3, super capable rig, just really long in my opinion, and kind of low even when you do crank the preload up. This is the type of ATV and I like to do off-roading. You know, a little bit of creepy crawly, that kind of thing. Creeping her through the mud, through the trails. As much as I really would like to get like a YXZ or something like that in the future, unless they put a high-low in it, it's not in the cards. I know the X3 is nice and low when in low range, but so far, man, that Yamaha RMAX, hey look, ice still around. That Yamaha RMAX, especially with that that drive mode selector switch, what a nice rig. Just a perfect rig for like the East Coast style trails. If you're ever wondering what an East Coast style trail looks like, this is it. Wooded, little bit tight, you know, rocky, kind of swampy in areas. This is an East Coast trail. Very typical, especially in Nova Scotia. Places like New Brunswick. Your West Coast trail, more open, you know, like, you know, look at like Moab and stuff like that. That would be what I consider to be a West Coast trail. Don't splash me. That exhaust does a good job of cleaning that left tire. These granite rocks, look. I just missed it on camera, but there's a nice cool little rock cliff right there. I just crawled up. That's where having a short wheelbase machine makes a big difference, because you're not going to be rubbing bottom. I had to turn my thumb heater down. My thumb was on fire. Frozen in spots. That's you know, that's pretty impressive. We got a lot of cold days this winter, or last winter. We're heading into the latter half of April here now, going into May. Smell that mud. Oh, something under there grabbed my wheel. Want some chocolate milk? Woo! Stop dumping your fucking garbage in the woods. That pisses me off more to see that. Unreal. The old bridge is a little bit worse for wear. Picked up a stick. Straight up. I think this is the trail they call Beeswanger. Pretty sure. I'm sure that we'll come across a little sign that says trail name here somewhere. Good work by the club, by the way, safety-minded ATV Association. You know, that's part of the reason why people join clubs is, you know, help support the ATV communities around, and to be able to put some money into the trail system by way of improvements for bridges and signs and things like that. I don't agree with how our provincial so-called ATV association, provincial ATV association handles the money. Basically, you have to belong to a certain club, belong to the association, be in good standing, have, you know, all this and that, even though that you pay every year into the OHV fund. If I were to come to the government and ask for money for a trail improvement, even if I had, you know, all the said plans and signed an agreement with the government, they wouldn't give me any money because it all has to go through our provincial ATV association. Even though I've been paying into that OHV fund that they use the money from in order to maintain the trails. I could go on forever. Let's just enjoy this ride. I was wrong. This is Beeswanger's Trail. another video, but there was one trail that we did that I didn't record on the Grizzly. I swapped with Al. He wanted to drive the Grizzly. I offered him for him to drive the Grizzly, and I drove the 900 trail. And pretty impressed with how well those tires on that side-by-side do. They're the 29-inch carnivores. Wow. Man, we rock crawled in two-wheel drive. Anyway, you'll see that in an upcoming video. Let's clean the glasses off here so I can see. It's still drizzling. The rain really has not stopped all day. Yeah, and by the way, I slammed the skid plate a couple times too, but not like it's got that wheelbase with 16 or 17 inches of ground clearance either. You either get one or the other. Geez, I know where I'm at now. I always see that and forget that this is the actual trail. They just renamed it. We're coming up to a dam here. I've been on this trail a couple times, and again, I haven't been on this trail in a couple years, maybe. Anyway, I always forget that this is the trail. This is eventually going to dump us back out on the 101 service road, so I'll head back to my truck. And then Bruce and Al are parked back at Tantallon, and they're going to do another quick loop home. Pushy willows. Big old tree. And I'm going to head home from there. I'm about an hour's drive out of here. By vehicle, I mean. Interesting. Sandbags. These tracks are obviously not used anymore, but years ago, I mean years ago, when I first started ATVing and come across here, I used to have to cross those railroad tracks on a dirt bike before I even started ATVing. To the truck, so I'm going to end the video here while you can still hear me. And the rain's picked up again, so oh, I guess we're stopping in to see somebody at the camp first. Hang on then. Hold that thought. Okay, now we're going to end the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Right guy out.
But I keep on falling. But I keep on we're all searching for that